Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
Do you bleed? You will. This is Bruce Wayne, and you're listening to 91 Reasons. Hello. All right, where were we? All day.
The movie theater.
We were at the movie theater all day. It's spring break. It was mobbed. There were people everywhere. Thank goodness all the kids were going to see Zootopia, which we've already seen and reviewed.
Mm-hmm. Good movie. Go see it.
Yes, and where were we headed to?
Kung Fu Panda?
Yes, we were headed to Kung Fu Panda.
Batman versus Superman.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
And we
Gotta
say
have subtitles.
Yes.
we say all day because this movie is long.
Yeah, it's 2.5, nearly 3 hours, plus previews, plus warnings, plus this, plus the M&Ms telling you to turn your phone off, plus the, what's that thing called before the movie?
First look.
First look. Oh, it's a first look at something. Wow, wow, wow.
Now the first looks, they're never previews for like media, like TV. It's a product they're trying to sell you. Normally a computer or some M&Ms.
Yeah, wasn't there one for Windex?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was birds talking about Windex, talking about My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
And it was like you got a forced look at the Windex.
Ooh, all right.
So you get 20 minutes of forced look. At least, 40 minutes of previews?
Yeah, I timed it. It was 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
18 minutes of previews. And then a very strange superhero warning to be safe in the movies, which was odd because when they got to the part about... Okay, we've talked about this before. AMC has to somehow broach the subject of somebody coming in the theater with a gun, and what should you do? So they always have to come up with like a giant robot or this or that. But it was really odd because this one said if the Joker comes in, what you should do. And I was like, isn't that what the Colorado shooter called himself, the Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little close to home. It was a little weird.
It had like a batarang in the table and everything.
Yeah.
It was like if mysterious figures come in, and so Joker cards across the detective table.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was...
All right, so
weird.
We have a special guest with us. Her name is...
Josie.
Sit up here, Josie. Now, you want to leave the show today. So before you go, what did you think of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice?
Well, I'm not a fan of superhero movies. I just don't like superheroes in general.
Not your thing.
This was a good movie.
You liked it. We went to the theater, the kind of theater where the seats collapse all the way into a bed.
Uh-huh.
You brought a blanket and a stuffed animal with the assumption that you would just go right to sleep.
Because I don't like superhero movies.
And what happened?
I watched the whole movie.
You watched all 3 hours.
It was interesting.
I was impressed. I kept expecting you to snore like your mom, and instead, you were awake. And even though the first hour, nothing happens. What did I say after leaving the theater? That was what could be a really good 90-minute movie. You look stymied. Who did you like better, Batman or Superman?
I always go with Batman.
Always go with Batman.
Always.
Nobody likes Superman anymore.
No.
It tended to be a very Batman-biased movie.
It's funny because it's supposed to be the sequel to Man of Steel, but it was really just the Nolan Batman is over.
Yeah.
It's time for a new Batman. Here's the new Batman. And I swear to God, I turned to you, Luna, in the first 2 seconds, and I said, I can't believe we're getting another origin. And how many times is Martha Wayne going to lose her pearls?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, ever since...
I turned to us and said, here come the pearls, here come the pearls.
Yeah, ever since Frank Miller drew the pearls dropping, you cannot show a Batman origin without the stupid pearls. And the pearls dropped many times in the movie.
Oh, yeah, they could go cutting back to that.
Yeah. And, well, Thomas Wayne was the comedian from The Watchmen. Now, was Martha Wayne Maggie from Walking Dead? It sure looked like her.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Show her long enough.
So, Josie, come up here. Since you have to leave because you've got a pressing date, what did you like most about the movie?
I liked that. Well, the entire movie wasn't just action like most superhero movies.
Right.
Like every 5 seconds they're having some sort of battle. This one had not as many.
No, for a almost 3 hour movie, there was not a lot of action. And at one point I said, I can't believe they're resorting to a dream sequence to have some action.
Yeah.
Because Batman is in the wastelands of Fury Road having an action sequence that's not real. It's very strange.
You wasted a lot of time on that, too.
Yeah. So what'd you think of Wonder Woman?
I couldn't understand her that well.
Yeah, she is not a very good actress. She has an accent, and she's not a good actress, so she's just supposed to look pretty. And she did. She looked very pretty.
She's very pretty.
Yeah, but not much else. But this is the first big mega Batman movie to actually show him using his detective skills. Because Batman is supposed to be the master detective.
Yeah.
Because his inspiration was Sherlock Holmes. So, Josie, you liked the detective part of the story.
Yes.
Because he didn't just, I have to go fight the bad guy. He had to, find the bad guy. So he's doing all this detective work. He's cloning phones and stealing computer
James Bond
database.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was...
Maybe that's why I liked it so
surprised-
much.
I'm surprised they didn't resort to the Sherlock Holmes, bullet time type stuff of him scoping the scene.
No, well...
They kept it pretty, James Bond-ish.
This Zack Snyder's the guy who really brought, it's called ramping, to the forefront. Ramping was first really shown in 300 in a big scale way, where that's where the action slows way down, and then you zoom in and out, and then it zooms back. There was none of that in this film. There was just no ramping.
There was a lot of close-ups and a lot of slow-mo scenes.
Yeah.
They didn't do a lot of that.
So
no.
we're going to excuse Josie because she's itching to go. Any last thoughts?
It's a good movie, just too long.
I'm going to put a spoiler warning before the show, so you were shocked at the end.
Yes.
What happens at the end?
Superman dies!
How can they kill Superman?
I couldn't believe they did it.
They really did it. Well, the minute they showed Doomsday, I thought, well, if they're going by comic book canon, they have to kill him. But how do you kill him when there's a lot of toys to be sold, right?
I don't really care about the toys.
All right, any last thoughts, Josie? You had some popcorn.
Optimus Prime.
You had a giant tanker of soda.
Yes.
A giant bag of M&Ms,
Yes.
which you said on the package said sharing size, but you wanted it made very clear that you would not be sharing.
That bothers me.
What bothers you?
The fact that they forced you to share your candy.
Because it says sharing on the side,
Yeah.
sharing size. It used to be called king size. Now they're sharing because they don't want to get blamed for making people fat. Whatever. All right, well, everybody, Josie Tucker, there she goes.
Bye.
All right, now we're going to get into it.
All right.
Where
Spoiler
did you
time.
go? Yeah, oh, yeah. There's a spoiler warning on this whole episode.
So back to the detective topic. That's what made me like the movie. I don't know why, but I really like Batman being an actual detective with Alfred kind of saying stuff in his ear. That was just a lot better than just Batman going from point A to B of action scenes.
Well, usually what happens in a Batman movie is the bad guy is committing a crime, they shine the light, and Batman shows up.
Yeah.
It's all the work's done for him. The crime is being committed at the bank. Call Batman.
Well, normally Gordon's there to fill him in, and he's the detective.
Yeah, there's no-
They only just hired Gordon last week.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no Gordon in this. Was there any Gordon in this movie at all?
No,
No.
he's gonna be J.K. Simmons in Justice.
Oh yeah,
League.
that's right. In the next one, right? But yeah, no Gordon in this one.
No Lucius either. They kind of combined Lucius and Alfred.
Yeah. No, Alfred's the guy that
makes the
makes
gadgets.
all his gadgets and
Alfred's
repairs
like
them.
smart. It's like his buddy or his roommate rather than his butler.
Yeah, well, you know what? Coming off of Michael Caine's, Mr. Wayne, I'm not going to watch you destroy yourself, Mr. Wayne. I thought that Irons was a great choice. He's a really good actor. You know him as Scar from Lion King, and he's just got that regal touch with just a little bit of a-holery.
Yeah.
Like he's just fed up with this guy. And that's always been the best Alfred, is the Alfred who's sarcastic, knows what Wayne is up to, but doesn't really approve, but goes along. I mean, you saw him, like, he puts down his stuff immediately, and he's got a tray of food taking it right over in that one sequence. That being said, my God, does this movie take a long time to get started?
Oh, yeah.
I turned to you at one point because Batman is trying to get into Lex Luthor's house, and he's going to suit up. And Alfred goes, we've got invitations. And you're like, oh, he's not going to suit up. They actually show him looking at the suit.
He walks away.
Not putting it on. Seeing Jason, we assume Jason Todd's uniform with "Ha Batman, the joke's on you." He's killed him.
Yeah.
And then we get it's pretty close to a James Bond sequence.
The party scene.
He's at the party.
A lot of James Bond.
He's got an earpiece in, and Alfred's like, "Turn left here, son, right here." And then what was fun was that Superman could hear it. So I thought that was that's a clever wrinkle to it. Let's boil it down. First off, everybody liked it. You guys both liked it.
I liked it. Yeah. I think the media is hugely overreacting with this movie.
I think the main problem is just hype. It was hyped too much. Going into it after reading bad reviews made it much better, because it's better than I was expecting.
Yeah, well, we were expecting Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, or Lone Ranger, or something like Tomorrowland. Like, the reviews are like, it's the worst travesty, blah, 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 blah. But all of the superhero fans that I've talked to enjoyed it. Chris Gore said it was superhero porn, which I'll tell you, for the first 2 hours I was like, I don't know what Chris is talking about. This is people in suits talking in dimly lit rooms. And then finally, oh my God, when the action kicks in, it was pretty good. Now, that being said, Zack Snyder is a terrible director. He needs to be put in movie jail and given. I mean, he's become Michael Bay. He's a parody of himself. All of the Watchmen's a dark, dire movie, but it does have fun. This movie had, out of 2 hours and a half hours, 6 or 7 minutes of fun at most. Very little.
All the jokes were like oddly placed.
It was badly edited. My main problem with a movie like this is that we're not given a chance to be in awe of these characters. What I mean by that is, we know from the trailer that Batman's going to fight Superman. We know that. We know he's going to wear a big suit of armor. What we want is the big reveal of the suit of armor.
Yeah.
We want the doors to open, like in Aliens. When the doors open and Ripley walks out in that power loader and goes, "Get away from her, you bitch." You're like, yeah! I wanted more of those moments in the theater. And Zack Snyder's like, no, we're not going to give those to you. I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah.
The one time he gave it was the one I didn't want. I didn't want, spoiler alert, I've said that the whole time, I didn't want Batman to say shit.
Yeah.
I didn't want it.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't want him to put his hands up in what would be a ridiculous defense against whatever.
He just gave up.
He gave up. He was, at that moment, he was Woody and Jesse holding hands going to the fire. And that's not Batman.
Yeah.
At all.
I agree.
Forget Wonder Woman. She doesn't, listen, Wonder Woman and Batman save themselves. I'm not saying that one's better than the other, blah, 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 feminist, whatever. I'm saying that Wonder Woman shows up. Here's how it plays out in my mind if it's a real Batman. Batman looks up. His ship has been disabled. He sees Doomsday turn, and he knows Doomsday is about to blow pure energy at him. He goes, oh shit. Wonder Woman shows up with her shield, right? And when she turns back, Batman is floating down after having ejector seated out.
That's what I was about to say.
That's
is the Batwing the one vehicle he made without an eject seat?
He should have.
He would have needed to.
And he should have landed next to her and went, "Thanks for the assist, but I got this." Instead of, "I thought she was with you." Because we've seen it in a trailer. I hate that the trailer gave away
too much.
A few key elements. It didn't give away that Doomsday would morph into the Doomsday that we kind of know with all of the
Spikes.
the spikes and jagged stuff on it. That being said, what are your thoughts before we, destroy it? What are your thoughts, Austin? And I don't mean destroy it in a bad way. I mean really just take it apart.
Okay. A lot of the critics are saying that it spends too. What I heard was that we don't get enough time knowing the characters. I think we got a lot of that. Batman and Superman very well for this movie.
Well, listen, this is not Ant-Man or The Flash. If you don't know Superman or Batman, then you've been living in a rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're under a rock because that's why I said another origin. But you know what? I realized late in the movie, there's a reason why the origin was there. The origin was there because of the stupid Martha connection.
Yeah.
Which is, we'll get into that. It was so stupid.
And I feel so gypped. I feel looked. Aquaman was in it for like 2 seconds.
Aquaman. You're upset that Aquaman wasn't in it enough.
He got figures and merchandise. I thought that Aquaman was going to show up in the movie and be a huge character.
No, he's the Constable Zuvio of this film.
Cyborg gets more screen time. I mentioned that Cyborg's in the movie.
Cyborg gets more screen time than Aquaman.
Think about that. Cyborg, a character nobody knows, got more screen time than Aquaman.
Who's those toys?
Or The Flash.
Cyborg is well known though because of the Teen Titans series.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
it's very weird that he's associated with these characters. He's not known for being part of this group.
Yeah, but you know what? When you line up a movie like this, you need a little diversity.
Yeah.
Because everybody's a rich white guy. So I get why he's there. That makes total sense to me.
I feel like they should just put Jon Stewart in, the Green Lantern.
The guy from The Daily Show?
No.
You meant Green Lantern. Yes.
Just don't do Hal Jordan, do Jon Stewart. That can give him an excuse to make another Green Lantern and make it different.
They don't want to go all out yet.
No. Well, they could put Jon Stewart in there. He would just have to show up because nobody's pining for another Green Lantern movie. It's just not going to happen.
They did it with Hulk and it worked really well.
Oh, yeah. Both reboots went well. Really well.
No, I mean as in he showed up in Avengers.
Just shoehorning him in without needing to go into depth.
No, anything more than a half-hour screen time of anything green and you're out.
Yeah.
So, any final other thoughts before I start ripping things? Or ripping and praising, I should say.
It's not the greatest movie ever made, but I think people are overreacting it compared to the amount of bad movies we've got recently. I thought it was pretty fun to watch. As long as it's fun to watch, I think that's what really matters.
Well, yeah, I think that a lot of times critics and scorecards do not take into account that what regular folks like to go to the movies for. And regular folks, it's hard to explain, but people love Batman. Doesn't matter who's playing him. Doesn't matter what the plot is. I mean, even Batman and Robin made a ton of dough. You know, these movies make lots of money. Batman is one of the few he is the American James Bond.
I think the reason why is because this movie, it was the entire point of this movie was to establish this, that Batman is the average person who just became a superhero. He's not an alien. He's not someone that was born a miracle.
He became a superhero through sheer will.
He was given a tragedy and he had a terrible life and he flipped it around and became a hero. And a lot of people like that.
What did you think of him landing in the Batcave and then floating up on a sea of bats?
No.
Oh,
God. That was like 5 minutes into the movie, and I was like laughing. Like, if this is setting the tone, this is gonna be like this is gonna be a comedy.
I turned to you and I said, "Is he really floating? Why is he floating?"
When the bats started going around him, I said to myself, now if this was a comic book, he would like stand up triumphantly and be like, "I am the Batman." That doesn't happen in real life. The kid's gonna cry and grow into a ball.
Sure.
Like, no. He gets up and he flies off.
It turned out to be one of three
above what I thought.
3 separate dream sequences that could have all been cut for my taste. That was the first one. The second one was
the grave with Man Bat.
The grave with Mad Bat. It was so stupid.
Oh my God! I forgot Man Bat showed up for it. Oh,
it was so dumb. Out of all the things to use, like,
and then Mad Max,
and then the like the Mad Max one, and you've seen it in the trailer. That's where Batman's dressed in like a duster and his mask and goggles. I don't know. It's Batman Furiosa Road or something. The problem with that one is that it simply went on too long. I was like, I can't
10-minute
believe the
scene with no
sequence.
meaning.
It's
Take a shower.
that's exactly why I got upset with it, because you and I know it's a dream sequence. We know how it ends with him getting unmasked. It's been revealed in the commercial again and again and again. And as a moviegoer, it's not going to add anything to the movie except, oh, we get it. Batman's afraid of Superman taking over the world.
I feel
There were many times, and I liked the movie, but there were many times I felt like they are deliberately wasting my time. And that is a weird thing to do to the audience.
And they did it through recapping, too. Anytime Alfred showed up, I went to the restroom because I know they were going to do 5 minutes of recap again.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was very strange. All the dream sequences need to be cut. They've done them in Batman before. Batman Forever had a really bizarre dream sequence that got cut. I should show you the sequence of it. Val Kilmer as Batman is standing there with a giant, realistic bat like looming over him, like Man-Bat. So it's a little weird that I was like, oh, that's reminiscent of that scene it was in the trailer, but it never made the movie.
I feel like if the actor is good enough, and what's his name? Dang it. Who was Batman? Affleck.
Just say Batfleck.
Batfleck. I feel like Affleck did a fantastic job as Batman. He's a great Batman.
Here's the deal with Affleck. He's got so much baggage from so many terrible movies and some good movies that it's a testament to his acting that I was able to simply put all that aside. He was Batman.
Yeah,
from the moment he walked
Batman.
on screen, he was a really good Bruce Wayne, and he was a really good Batman. I think he was a better Batman than Christian Bale.
I think so, because he was doing kind of the same character, but he was just a lot better for it.
He was beefier. He looked better in the suit. He had a better suit. Mm-hmm. The Nolan Batman realistic with movable neck thing always looked like a guy.
Yeah.
He looked like a guy going motorcycle riding.
Mm-hmm. Affleck's, if it brought out the bat on the chest a little more.
Yeah, well, because it was supposed to be the Dark Knight. This movie is everything Dark Knight. Some scenes were directly like the pearls falling. The one scene that I thought was interesting was when he's rescuing Martha Wayne and they've got their guns pointed at the door, and I was like, oh, he's going to come through the wall like in the comic book. Martha Kent, not Martha. Martha Wayne's dead. But, he came right through the wall just like in the comic book. I thought that was pretty clever.
I thought his acting was so good that we could tell his emotions about Superman, and we didn't need an obvious dream sequence to tell people in the audience Superman.
But the dream sequence were just Zack Snyder just goofing on it. Like, we're going to make the longest superhero movie ever made. I get it. Everybody wants to compare the size of their movies, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like, we get it, Zack. You've got the biggest movie. Wow, I got it. The other interesting thing is that this movie is like a tightrope walk because it is so serious that you could almost slip into parody. Mm-hmm. There were moments where it's like, wow, this is so dire and so dark, it could almost add a laugh track.
Take it some of it seriously.
I laughed during a lot of it.
But no, I thought it did a pretty good balance.
Where Batman gets stabbed in the chest and he picks the guy up and stabs him back.
Yeah, I laughed at that.
I was like,
oh my god!
I turned and went, oh my god, he just stabbed that guy. And it was weird too because sure he stabbed that guy, but we'd already seen him take a car and spin it around over his head and run people over and blow them up.
When he dropped the grenade next to the guy,
I know.
He killed him. He's dead. Batman just killed that guy.
Well, at one point, he took somebody's gun. Mm-hmm. Batman is not. This is the one that this Batman doesn't have the code. He was branding them with the bat symbol, which in prison was a death sentence.
Yeah.
So
and he still didn't even after he heard that.
It didn't stop him. No. And why didn't he brand Luthor at the end? That didn't make any sense to me.
I think he branded his cell, so he's always has to look at the bat. If it was on his neck, he wouldn't be able to see it.
I thought that was dumb. I thought that was dumb. So let's talk about that. The weakest part of the movie to me is Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg was completely miscast. He's too young. He's too silly. He looked to me like what you said. Yeah. He looked like the Riddler.
Yeah. I liked his character, not as Luthor, just by himself. And if he just put a hat on him and called him the Riddler, it would have been great.
Oh, yeah. No, if at the end he was like, my real name's Edward Nygma. Yeah. Riddle me this. I would have been, oh, that makes total sense. You know? But no, but that's the new thing. Like, you know, in the new world, the billionaires are all young guys because of online, this and that, social media, Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. But, you know what? Given the choice, would you rather have a Mark Zuckerberg Lex Luthor or a Donald Trump Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
I'd rather have the Trump because, to me, that shows power and a little bit of villainy. I'm not sure what he's capable of. He needs to have pretty girls with him all the time. This had none of that. Like Kevin Spacey, I thought, in Superman Returns was a good Lex Luthor.
Kevin Spacey? It's been a long time since I've seen that.
And then, of course, Hackman is the all-time great. I don't know who you'd cast now. It needs to be an actor with... Like, you know what? It should have been Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
Oh, Breaking Bad, yeah.
You know, shave his head. I mean, I think he has a shaved head. And he would have chewed the scenery with... Because here's the problem with Eisenberg's Luthor. Too jokey. I never took him like as a threat. Yeah. I thought, oh my god, if Batman punches this guy one time, he's gonna cry.
The only time I felt like he was a threat was when the chair was empty. That's the only when the senator looks over and looks like his chair is empty.
Oh yeah,
I got what you're supposed to feel, just the fact of how powerful he can be and how just his existence strikes fear.
Right, because he's got all those machinations and like, oh wait, if Luthor's not here, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Now, we got the peach tea reference, but don't you think that dialogue was rushed?
Oh, I didn't understand.
She goes,
because convoluted.
Holly Hunter has a speech impediment. She's a fantastic actress with an Oscar, one of my favorites, especially in The Firm. But she goes, don't pee in a jug and call it Grandma's peach iced tea. I was like, what the hell did that woman just say? And it took me a second. And you know me, I like to watch movies with the subtitles on.
Yeah.
Not because I'm hard of hearing, but because I like to know everything they're saying to get into the story. So that was a little odd. And I've seen memes already of Grandma's peach tea of like, want a drink? I'm like, oh, it's piss.
We're going to sell that now.
Luthor's got a really hot Asian assistant that... For no reason, he kills her? What the hell?
For no reason.
Why?
She was set up to be a villain and everything.
I was really disappointed.
There was a lot of people set up to be characters, and they just didn't do anything with them.
Well, remember when Catwoman's assistant was set up in every way to be a character?
Yeah, she is in the comics now.
Oh,
she is her character in the comics.
You're talking about Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah, we thought... Can't she just one time call her Harley?
Yeah.
That's all we need, and she didn't do it.
She's a different character. In the comic, she has her own villain persona and everything.
In this one, we watched a guy with a camera get shot in the head off camera, which turns out to be Jimmy Olsen.
Credits to Jimmy Olsen.
They killed Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah. But like the guy in the wheelchair, the senator.
Oh yeah, the wheelchair guy. What happened to him?
Luthor's assistant.
He blew himself up.
They all died in the same
all
explosion.
died.
Oh yeah, no. In that one explosion, they got rid of a lot of the characters.
They killed like 4 or 5 side characters that could have been major in another movie. They killed them off.
They're all gone.
That senator character got really set up to be someone.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: when the guy who had his legs crushed, he's in his apartment, he's making a bomb.
Is he?
What was he taping up with a fuse?
Yeah.
And when he got into the statue, he just got a spray paint. I'm like, no. You, sir, set up that guy had a bomb. So if somebody sees the movie and sees differently, please let me know. Because I was waiting for that statue to blow up. I know they couldn't because they were saving him for the bomb later. I totally get that. And what was the significance of him not cashing his checks? Was that just to keep pushing the Superman hate agenda?
Yeah. No, he was hitting on Bruce Wayne there.
Yeah, but he didn't do it. That was all Luthor's device.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just weird. It was you know what it was? It was more just filler.
I think I think the extended version will go more into it. I think there's a lot of stuff Luthor was doing behind the scenes to get Batman and Superman to hate each other.
Hey, I paid $30 to get us into this movie, so now I gotta buy it to get the whole story.
$21 to watch it again.
What kind of crap is that?
I really, really hate watch the extended version because what I see in the movie theater is canon. That's everything that happened canon.
I think there's a lot more that Luthor does behind the scenes.
They've already released a scene where Luthor is communing with somebody in the stars. So they were going to bring a lot more science fiction into it. He goes to the trouble of peeling off Zod's fingerprints when he's got Zod's body that he could just put the hand. Like I thought that was again, it's just we're just grinding our gears on scenes that don't mean anything, and I don't know why they continually do that. That was really weird to me. Like, exercise just a little bit of control. Cut some of this out. It's too long. It's too long. And they cut out, they were going to have the Joker in it.
Yeah, they didn't go enough into iconic villains. Batman chased down like 4 or 5 random criminals throughout this movie. Those all should have been someone. There's so many throwaway villains.
You're right.
Like, the opening, the first guy Batman kills, that should have been like Zass or Pig or something. Someone they can throw away. They won't need in a later movie.
Yeah, no, I thought that would have been an interesting choice. And in a movie stuffed to the gills, there were key things missing that I would have liked to have seen, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's weird. Like, Wonder Woman was barely explored at all.
Oh yeah, she was there.
She just showed up.
She didn't really do anything. She just was there.
I think
they had footage of her getting money out of an ATM. It was so odd to me.
She did explain once that she fought creatures from other worlds in one line. But it sounded like they were way too scared to go into the Sentinels of magic. To the point where Luna even pointed out, Wonder Woman isn't a metahuman, but Lex Luthor labels her as one.
Lex Luthor's file says Wonder Woman's a metahuman.
She's not.
She's a magic user.
I've heard a lot of crap about Luthor's files online, and it's all true. Like, that's maybe one of the sloppiest shortcuts I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Where the bad guy has video footage of all of the upcoming heroes along with their symbol. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Absolutely ludicrous.
Mm-hmm.
Flash wasn't wearing a costume. He doesn't have a lightning bolt anywhere on him. He's wearing street clothes. Aquaman barely is seen. His hair is seen more than anything else. And Cyborg gets the most because we don't know. Nobody knows who Cyborg is really. It took, like, even those who knew he was coming were like, where are they going with it? Oh, Cyborg, because it kept jump cutting further down the line of the story. But I thought all that was silly.
With such those bad special effects.
That was really bad.
Oh, it was bad.
Like a Windows 98 screensaver.
It was pretty bad.
Do they have to make it like that? Why can't it just be like a quick video cam of Cyborg afterwards saying, I don't know what happened, man. Look at my hand. He comes up with a robotic hand.
Yeah, it could have been anything.
That would have been better. Rather than the scientist with the cube. I mean, I understand that's all part of the lore the fans want, but for the sake of just getting through the story, it was filler.
Oh, yeah, no, it was filler in a movie that was already too long. That's the part where I start to get agitated. It's like, he's just stringing us along to finally get to the Batman versus Superman fight. And that's the part where I said, there's no panache to it. Batman just shows up in his suit and plants his Spear of Destiny into the ground. Thankfully, the fight went on longer than I thought it was going to go on. I thought, oh boy, they're going to cut this quick. But they did have a pretty good fight. And Batman would have killed Superman if Lois Lane hadn't intervened. And the reason they stopped fighting might be one of the dumbest cinematic devices of all time. I'm trying to think of one that's comparable, except maybe like, you guys have never seen Step Brothers with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, where they fight until one day they're fighting and they go, wait a minute, you like that? I like that. We're best friends now. And it was very similar to like, wait a minute, your mom's name is Martha? Because my mom's name was Martha. Come here, you big lug. Give me a hug. And I thought, that's the best they could do? No, what should have happened was that Batman should have stuck that spear right into his chest. Not all the way, just enough to get him there. And Superman go, this isn't you. We're on the same side. We fight for truth, justice, and the American way. And you're not, I mean, maybe that would have been like Batman realizing I shouldn't kill anymore. and a turning point, because you have to give everybody a story arc. Everybody has to have a character shift so that by the end of the movie, they're not the same person. They've learned a lesson of sorts, right? Nobody gets any of that in this movie. That Martha Kent stuff was pure schlock of the highest order of two screenwriters. One of them is David Goyer, one of the really best superhero screenwriters. They got to that point and they ran out of ideas. Simply ran out of ideas. If that's the best you can do, maybe Lois Lane should have dropped and took the spear instead. Mm-hmm. And Batman backs up as she drops dead, and Superman goes, "What have you done?" Then we learn a lesson. There's a better way than just mom, fight over. No, lame. And why did Batman go rescue Martha Kent by himself anyways? I know it was because we needed a really good Batman fight.
Superman go zoop and then she saved.
Exactly. Well, that's the problem with Superman.
He can do anything.
He can do anything, so you've got to use him sparingly.
Why is Gotham, Metropolis, and supposedly Central City like 10 miles from each other? One big triangle.
They're across the bay. They're across the bay. Well, we saw it because they're in Metropolis looking at the bat signal in the sky.
You can see the bat symbol from the planet. It's
like Superman, Superman at one point goes, "Next time you see the bat signal, ignore it. The bat is dead." Instead, he just went, "Look, I got it. The city's right across the way here, dude. It's not that much. Look, just relax. I'll take care of crime in both cities. Everybody gets a day off." Like, no, that's weird. I mean, isn't that weird, having the cities so close together? They're supposed to be Washington, D.C., Metropolis, and New York, Gotham, so that they're states away. That's just the way it's supposed to be. Right?
Yeah. It's awkward. It's very awkward. Any villain from Gotham could easily go to Metropolis. And okay, so it's established that Gotham is a cruddy city because one line is said, what's the name of the newspaper guy? I want to call him James Jonah.
Perry White.
Perry White.
Morpheus.
Because
it was Morpheus.
Cowboy Curtis.
That was.
Because because they're trying to tell him to write an article about the crime rate in Gotham, and he goes, "Oh, great, crime's in Gotham, and water is wet. It'll be a great title."
Yeah, I know. Like, oh, it's a crap hole. Isn't our city great?
Yeah, but if it's so close to Metropolis, how can Metropolis be so perfect when the two towns?
It's like Norwalk and Bellflower having a feud. Like, it's pointless. It's completely pointless. You don't need to do all that.
Yeah.
But okay, any final thoughts?
This is a Gotham that's already gone through all the supervillains.
Well, that was the other thing. It ends with Lex Luthor in prison, not Arkham, but prison.
Just prison.
And there's no Strikers Island either.
No, there's Rikers Island, which is uninhabited.
Yeah.
Because we don't want anyone to think there's more destruction in this movie. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to die. None of the citizens are going to die. There's no extras in it. They're all gone. The weird. What was he saying at the end through the bars as his nose was running?
His nose was running. That bothered me.
Right? It's gross.
That was a completely generic of the sequel will have a bigger villain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was talking about something from the stars was coming.
It's the same thing that Marvel's been doing with Thanos for like 4 years now.
Oh, I know, right?
Get to it. Come on.
Yeah. No. Thanos. This one's Dark Side. Dark Side.
The demon painting at the last shot.
Oh, I know. That was so dumb.
It's literally just Dark Side. That's literally just a painting of Dark Side.
But had it been flipped?
It was flipped.
It was
like
flipped.
You mentioned earlier.
Because now the bad guys are coming from the sky.
It's just they're doing what Marvel did with Thanos. Now they're doing with Dark Side.
But this is symbolism for idiots.
Yeah.
Because you don't. I mean, if you want to do it, you show the painting, but you don't say you're going to flip it. You just flip it so that it becomes like, oh, the painting's been flipped, so now the demons are coming from the sky, as opposed to him going, this is what it means here. But that pullback, don't you think that pullback would have been better if while they're pulling back, we see like Two-Face leaning out and smoking a cigarette, or the Penguin? I know that the movie's crammed, it's time to go, I totally get that, but a couple more Easter eggs I think would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Jason Todd was about as best as you get.
Yeah.
The spray paint had some Joker references, some Riddler references.
Joker, Harley Quinn, right?
Let's talk about that portal scene, huh? Well, Batman goes to heaven to see Robin, or what the heck was happening there?
Yeah, well, Robin was there to tell him about Lois Lane.
That version of Robin had a Batman like Arkham Knight-like suit. He was already like it was a mix of Red Hood and Arkham Knight.
Yeah,
like Jason Todd, no matter how you pull it.
Yeah,
and he somehow lost that Robin to some sort of portal device. I'm sure that's another movie they're working on.
Well, the Joker killed him or something, or sent him away.
He was being sucked into something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like, there's some machine.
It could be possible that he was just getting a visit and that Robin's just dead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they made a point of going to graves over and over in this film. If Robin had been dead, there should have been
a scene,
something. Yeah. I don't know.
How many Robins were there? Because like they sewed the suit and they sewed him as Red Hood. Are those different Robins?
It looks like he's already gone through and killed all 3 Robins. Unless Nightwing's out there somewhere okay.
Right. Well, you never know. Any final thoughts on the ending with Superman having 2 funerals?
Yeah, I like that it was the government that got the empty casket and he got to be buried in
Smallville.
farm.
Yeah,
that was nice.
No, it was real nice. It was proper, I thought. Yeah. Small funeral, and like that's all they know how to do is that honor the fallen warriors.
He deserved a little more than Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman just standing there. There should have been a more come together of heroes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would have been great if like Hawkman had flown down and it's like
every meta-human that knew about him showed up.
Yeah, well, we were really hoping that
Kingdom Come looking scene.
Yeah, that there would be some sort of Justice League or Hall of Justice roundup, and maybe like at the end, Batman like leans down in a chair and is like, "Thanks for coming," and they just pan instead of the stupid computer files, they just pan around the room, and Superman is an empty chair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That would have been good. And he goes, "We're gonna."
I want to say the blueprints for the Watchtower.
Something, right? Yeah. Something. But in a movie that cost $800 million, lasts nearly 3 hours, you and I are sitting here asking for more. So who's the idiot now? Me. Austin, 1 to 10.
I give it about a 7.5.
7.5.
I was gonna say 7 or 8.
Yeah, I give it an 8. Mm-hmm. I thought it was
well seen.
I got my $5.99 out of it. I'll tell you that it was entertaining.
Yep.
It was long, but what are you going to do? The last 45 minutes or so were stellar.
Yeah.
With lots of good
it left on a
action.
Good note.
Zack Snyder, would it kill you to pull back a little bit? I think what I said at lunch was, I want to watch superhero movies. I don't want to feel like I'm in them with the characters. Mm-hmm. I don't need that stupid shaky cam.
You gotta have 3D, you gotta have shaky cam.
No, God. Thank God we saw it traditional, because 3D might have killed me.
Yeah.
Because there was so many things.
Motion sickness.
How many times did I turn to you and say, I don't know what's happening?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can't tell what's happening on the screen.
I don't like seeing Batman's winkly, pimply face, and then like a finger putzing, and oh my god! I want to point out that there was a lot of gunfire in this movie, right? Because Batman runs around the gun.
Oh yeah, a lot of gunfire. But
instead of showing a character running around and gunning people, we have to see the end of the gun as the cells come out.
Oh yeah,
that's the only way of showing gunfire. I don't know why that is.
I also noticed that for a film that's mega digital, there was a lot of fake grain to it.
Yeah.
During a lot of the scenes indoors where there's candles or fire, anytime it got to be a warm tone, the whole screen was grainy, which has to be artificial because digital cameras don't have grain.
Yeah.
And when you blow it up, it's supposed to be just as clear. So you can tell that they're trying to manufacture a celluloid look to make it feel old school. So that's
the few scenes pulled it off well. When the Batmobile drives into the cave, that felt like an 80s Batman.
Oh yeah,
that felt good.
He leapt over the water.
Yeah.
And it's funny too you say that, because that sequence where it's sparking because it's been damaged and he's driving, I was like, man, why can't we have more of that?
Yeah.
More of the cave. Where's the big penny? Where's the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the playing card, Where's all the trappings of the Batman character,
You get the suits.
We got the suits and everything, and I get that. And he got his plane for, a short time in the film. But at least
Batman can't keep a vehicle for 10 seconds.
No, Batman's vehicles all have to get destroyed.
Why did he say, I gotta get the spear? How can I lure Doomsday in? Like, get the spear and fly back.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that either.
They're on an uninhabited island. You can battle there. Just go get the thing and come back.
Just go get or tell Superman, hey, can you get the spear?
You can zoom there and back in 10 seconds.
Wait, but Superman can't carry the spear. That's the thing.
Oh, he can't fly with it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he did in the movie, but that was his sacrifice he was making. And that's why Doomsday was able to vanquish him, because he was weakened from carrying the spear. Zack Snyder has such a Christ-like fascination with Superman. In the other film of him crucified in crucifixion pose above the world. This one was right before Batman's going to kill him, cuts him with the spear. I mean, it was straight out of the Bible. Give me a break. Just weird. I don't get all that.
What happened with Superman in space? I wasn't understanding. Like, was it just to pay homage and with no real purpose?
What do you mean?
When he's all bony.
Oh yeah, no, that's directly from The Dark Knight Returns. In The Dark Knight Returns, they launch a nuclear missile at Gotham, and Superman takes it, and he's all in Dark Knight Returns. Superman is so buff, he looks ridiculous. He looks like Mr. Incredible. He throws the device into the sun, and it explodes, and the ensuing radiation blocks out the sun. Without the sun, Superman has no power.
Oh, is that what the
So what you're watching in the
Okay.
film is dead Superman being revitalized by the yellow sun that gives him his power.
I did that one right over my head.
It's
I didn't get that either.
It's from the comic book. It's because I'm a nerd. All right, so I would give it an 8. We got a 7, 7.5. Not bad.
It was pretty good.
Go check out Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad in
Pretty
August.
good. Wonder Woman, I'm not so sure about.
Well, the good thing about Wonder Woman is it's going to have a Captain America vibe because it's a period piece.
movie.
I'm a fan of those superhero period pieces because they're different.
Yeah.
I wish the movie had been a little brighter. The dark, gloomy rain tends to get old after a while. But that's the movies people make now. That's the aesthetic that people are going to. The bright movies are the Marvel movies, and the gloomy movies are the DC movies. And maybe we'll somehow see some cross with that. But all right, we're going to wrap it up. Our episode, Batman versus Superman. Go see it in theaters if you want. If you've got 9 hours to kill. Right?
Yeah. I would say definitely check it out. People who are viewing it, who give it like a 0 or a 0.1, they're just overreacting.
Oh yeah, totally. They're totally.
It's a massive overreaction.
Yeah, it's not a train wreck like people are leading you to believe.
No.
And
It's worth seeing.
Yeah, it's worth seeing on the big screen. So go check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Leave us a review on iTunes. Check out our Patreon. Look for our GoFundMe page very soon for the Don Berg animated series. That's a real thing, folks. A real thing. I am the voice. I am Jeff Tucker. I am joined by
Austin.
Luna.
and we are Jeff versus Luna and Austin. Dawn of 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?
You've always got it recording at the highest. Why do you do that, Austin?
Because why not?
What?
I don't know why.